Hi, everyone. Welcome back to the podcast, Beginners Corner Competitors. My name is Florence, Ladyfloflo, and I have Luchida Michel with me. Hey, Luchida.
Hi, guys. It's me again.
Hey. So today, we're going to talk about posing. Why it's important. So regardless if you're bikini, wellness, figure, even physique, you want to listen to this topic. So make sure before we start that you share this video, you give it a like, and leave us some comments, okay? Let's start writing. All right, Luchida, tell us, posing. So as a competitor, for people who are not familiar with that, yes, we have to train. Yes, we have to do diet. But then for the show day, is how we show that package is with that posing. And boy, oh boy, it's so complicated. When I started my first posing, the first time with my shoes, I said, I'm gonna die. I like literally, you see that I cried. I couldn't hold like these shoes like for more than like 5 minutes. I was crying. I was like, I can't do this. So tell us like what's important. Like, how do we get that confidence to like our show date? What are the tricks you've learned?
Well, there's one and main master trick and tip that is applied to anything you do in life, not just posing, but it does apply here too. Practice. Practice makes better, right? So
Yes.
if you're the kind of person, for example, when you used to go, there's always these people at school when you have an exam, everybody knows the date of the exam. You'll have these people who are going to be preparing as soon as they know the date, they will be starting to prepare from that day until exam day. But you also have these people that are like, oh, it's so far ahead. I'm going to be fine if I start studying 1 week or 2 weeks later. There's people like that also in bodybuilding, and you have to be careful because if you do your posing last minute, it might be a disadvantage for you when it comes to stage because you might not look as confident as the others. So practicing early as possible, even if you're off season, is an asset when it comes to competing. Think about the fact that posing itself is a workout.
Yes.
It is a workout. I mean, I do my posing and I'm sweating and I feel pain, I feel muscles, I feel everything because I'm flexing, I'm posing, I'm redoing the same step over and over again. So I would say that the best thing to do is to allow at least 15 to 30 minutes, especially during prep, either if you're off season or on season, every day if you can, or as much as possible in the week. And as you're getting closer to show day, it has to become an everyday training. And the thing about posing too is that as you go through your journey as a competitor, it becomes more and more difficult. So you take, for example, pros, posing is more difficult than amateur because we're all in great conditioning at this point. So it's no longer about who has the best conditioning. It's about who has the overall package, including the posing. So posing, sometimes they can make you pose for minutes on stage. I've experienced that. Some men too in bodybuilding, they can have to be posing for a long time and it's exhausting. So if you don't take the time to practice a lot ahead, you're going to freak out when it comes to show day because you didn't get enough practice. And then you realize that you have to hold your vacuum for like a minute. Unless you're lucky and you're like a super warrior and you get through this, you might find it really hard and difficult and you might be disappointed. So if you want to make this a great experience, make practice something that is usual in your agenda. And I know it sucks because we have so much going on when it comes to a prep, but think about it. If you decided to do a show, you're embracing everything that comes with it. And the hard work is also including the posing. When I was preparing my pro qualifier or my pro show, because when you do a pro qualifier, basically you have to think that you're showcasing yourself as a pro. It's not like
Oh,
you're an amateur becoming a pro. Is that you want to tell the judge, I have my place as a pro here. Why? It's not just because of your physique, but it's also about your gait on the stage and your posing and the overall look. So judge that see that you're feeling comfortable in your posing will give you more points than someone who seems to struggle. And you can tell when someone has been practicing, because when you've been practicing a lot, just like for an exam studying, or like when you practice piano or guitar to become better, it shows, because what the results are there and they're showing. You'll see that the person, even though I'm stressed when I go on stage every single time, my jaw is trembling. I feel like everybody's saying that I'm nervous. But because I've been practicing, it becomes more natural when I go on stage. So I don't have to focus so much on what I'm doing on my posing, because it's just my muscle memory working because I've been practicing it. I'll give
that's
you,
so true.
yeah, I'll
Because
give you.
yes, I was saying that I remember the first time I went on stage, and like you said, like it blanked out. I was so nervous, I was trembling, and I reverted to back, like without even thinking about to what I've been practicing, right? And so you want to put the best, chances in your corner by practicing before. And even before I decided to compete, I was attending posing seminars. I was just, it was so uncomfortable because, I was not a competitor and I saw all these like shredded ladies lean and I was like, "Ooh, look at me." But I went before I did at least two posing seminars before I even decide to compete and prep.
And that's really
And
good. I think it's a great idea to go to seminars as much as having a posing coach, because just like for training or for diet, you want to have someone accountable to follow you throughout the process. But also, a posing coach will bring you that extra element in order to be more personalized in your posing, because you
okay.
have the mandatory posing that everybody have to learn that are mandatory, but you also have some freestyle in it, depending on the federation and the level of competition you're at. When you come to have to do a routine of 15 or 30 seconds, this is where you bring your sauce, like I said, like your personality. So when you practice, the fact that you practice so often, what it allows you to do is to have more time to focus on stage and bring your confidence and your gait and your sauce or your personal touch, because everything else is just muscle memory. So then you can I'll give you an example of things I do on stage. I listen to the music playing
Mhm.
and I align my posing to that when I do my my presentation or my little 15 seconds, and I try to follow the beat as I know what I have to do. I don't have to think so much about what's next in my routine because I've practiced it so long for so many times that it's just like a reflex, it's natural. So then I just have to focus on smiling, showing my right angle,
Wow.
and like bringing my sauce, bring my
Wait, do
little
you get to
touch.
choose your own song as a pro?
No, no,
Oh, no.
just like I just listen to the music and I try, like I say, I align my posing to it because I already know the posing. I've practiced it so many times. So now it's just a question. Okay, I'm going to do my 4 tempos, posing, counting on the music beat so it fits. And it just gives it looks like I'm doing a dance or a posing dance. It
So
just
it seems
brings,
like you're having fun, but
yeah,
I
exactly.
feel like a lot of new people in the game in the competition, and we struggle. Yeah, we practice, but we still struggle like building that confidence, like with the heels, the suit, and how do we? Because I feel like it's an important element as an athlete, as a competitor, and I think even in life to have right to be confident when you present yourself, and especially in a competition, we are judged by our physique. And sometimes, like you mentioned, all of the athletes are great condition. And I feel sometimes when you look through, when you pinpoint, oh, that it factor. Sometimes it's like that confidence. And how do you build that?
Well, I said there's one thing. It's practice. There's nothing else. I mean,
nothing else?
No, there's nothing else, to be honest, because I mean, you're all going to get nervous. Some people are not nervous. They're just like drawn to stage like me, but I still get nervous anyways. And it's normal. It's just a good nervosity, but you have to be prepared. You have to be prepared because preparation is key for confidence. If you're not prepared, this is where you're not confident because you know you're not prepared. You know you didn't practice enough. And then if you do the mistake to look at the other competitors while you're backstage posing and you realize that they're acing it or kicking ass more than you because you haven't practiced enough, it could kill and ruin what's left of your confidence to go on stage. Other elements is also because maybe you're doing the competition and you were not up for it and you're still doing it and you decided to go through it. It's not so much about confidence. It's more like how it's affecting you because you're not into it. So It will show in your gait. It will show in your posing. So it becomes mental. And it becomes more about practicing. I'm telling you, there's no other reason not to feel confident because we'll all be nervous.
There's no juju?
No. I mean, you could take some magnesium maybe to feel a little bit like you're floating and relax yourself. I would say also when you're backstage to remain calm as possible, practice mindfulness, talk to yourself. That's another element I do. When I go on stage, I talk to myself in my head while I'm on stage. I don't pay attention. I don't hear nobody. I don't see nobody. Sometimes I hear, but it's like my ears hear, but my mind is not paying attention because my mind is too busy talking to myself. When I did my pro qualifier, I remember they were telling us that during the pro qualifier, there was a contest for the whole competition. They were gonna select the best competitors from the photos they were doing for a magazine or something. It didn't matter which category. They were just going to take the ones that were more inspiring on stage, that felt more confident, that looked good in front of the camera and look wise and everything. And I remember I used this actually as an element to help me when I went to stage. And I was like, okay, I'm going to pose because I'm posing for that magazine. But it's not because I wanted to be part of the magazine so bad. It was just a way for me to give me an extra kick. So I knew that smiling was going to be super important. I didn't stop smiling. Making sure I have eye contact with the judges, very important when you do the posing, because basically what you're saying is that I'm confident and I'm posing for you. Do you see me? So that's another element. So having eye contact with the judges also show a certain amount of confidence, which could be a good thing for you as a competitor. Don't try to look for your boyfriend or your family in the crowd. Just imagine that you're there to give a show and you're just being the star on stage, and this is what it should look like. You're a star.
You are the star of your own show. Awesome. Yeah, you're right. I completely agreed that practice is, there's no way around it to practice. But if I may share, I've done that, and I've studied, and you showed me some of your posing, and I find that I go look at some, especially my category, my federation, look at people, and I studied the way that they pose. Like, how did they get muscles? Like by watching videos, basically, of some posing and trying to recreate that emotion. I'm not sure if it makes sense, but that emotion feeling, I feel like I've been able to tweak, and I wasn't able to flare my lats before, but I can flare my lats now.
It's mindfulness, basically. If you're understanding, you're connected to your muscle, this is what makes it easier when you pose to actually do the right body motion in order to showcase certain part or muscle group of your body as desired. So if you don't understand how to flex your lats, even though you train, Well, for posing, it's going to be something you want to practice. Like, you know that if you really open your lats, you just have to like open them like this, not to bring your shoulder too high because there's no point. It's like you open your lats, bring anything up except my lats out. We have a tendency to bring our shoulders up when we do that. No, muscle connection. Muscle connection is like you open your lat, nothing else moves. Because when you're going to be on stage, it's not going to look good if you do that. Because if you do that, you look like a gorilla getting engaged into a pose. You want to make it natural, like you're just
it's like you deploy like a bird. I was like,
exactly.
This is so beautiful.
So mindfulness is important. So that would be another element. Preparation. When I think preparation and practice, be careful here. When I say practice, it means you have to practice in the conditions of stage. So when you practice, you make sure you have enough space to move. When you practice, you make sure that you record yourself and you look at your progress, or you have a posing coach who allows you or helps you with that. When you pose, you don't pose in your running shoes. You can pose in your shoes, but it's not real practice because you're not going to go on stage in running shoes.
Yes.
Are you?
No, but what if I remove my shoes? But just like, let's say you're just practicing like flaring your lats, you know what I mean? I just
think about the fact that when you film yourself, the way your legs are going to look when you pose and you flex is not the same as if you're wearing your heels. So if you want to be able to see the right stuff you want to work on for stage, you need your heels.
Okay.
Off season, you can cheat and once in a while use your shoes. But honestly, we talk about confidence. The fact of wearing your heels every practice session is a keystone because you're just getting used to your shoes. You're getting used to moving them. So you're not going to have to worry so much on show day on the pain in your heels with your heels, because you're going to spend so many time in your heels during the day. Take it off, take them back, take them off, take them back. You have to practice these things. So basically you're practicing yourself for these conditions. Don't put socks in your shoes.
But we see a lot of girls putting socks in their shoes. And I was thinking the same thing, like during the show, you're not going to have socks anyways.
I understand why they do that, because your feet slips better in the shoes when you have socks, and it hurts less because the structure of the shoe for competition is like a little latex or plastic that actually extend through heat. So if your shoe is cold, it's going to be hard. And when you're going to try to slip in your feet, it's going to hurt. One trick before posing, use a blow dryer on the plastic. Just a few seconds. It's going to, ça va ramollir. It's going to like melt the plastic just a little, not melt like melt.
Yeah, not melt.
It's just going to make it more elastic. So you're going to be able to slip in your feet better. That's one trick. And also used backstage, by the way. I've brought my blow dryer just for that.
You know what?
I'm in the corner blow drying my shoe to slip in my feet in it. I do that. It's little tricks you learn over time.
And that's a good reminder, because sometimes you see things and you don't understand and you just go blindly repeat. Like you have to ask yourself this question: why are they doing this? Is it useful? You know? So maybe, you know, you see someone do a pro, but you don't know, like she may be in her off season, right? And it's not that critical for her to get her feet acquainted to the shoes. So don't always like, you know, repeat and do stuff that you don't quite understand. Ask questions. And that's why we're here. And that's why we're having this conversation. One more question, Luchida, before we wrap up.
Before you go for a question, I just want to say, to come back on that tip on confidence. By the way, the fact that you wear your shoes every time you practice will affect your confidence on stage, because judge will look at how you walk in these shoes. So if you see that girl who's struggling because she hasn't practiced enough, or she didn't get acquainted with wearing the heels for a long time, it will show, because you have to adapt to the sole you'll be walking on, which is because you don't have necessarily a stage setting at home. It doesn't matter. You have practice being the shoe. So the only thing you'll have to focus on after that, when you're prepared, is how do I adapt my walk on that stage because this is the floor I have today. Versus the person who doesn't practice enough in the shoes, she has to worry on walking in the shoes properly. So she's thinking about it as she's going on stage, but she's also monitoring how to gauge her gait on the stage. And this is when you see sometimes they're doing their posing, they're gonna faint or like almost fall. Yeah. So this could happen. I mean, it happened to me, not because I'm not confident, it's just misstep or something, but you're so confident after that, you know you own your posing, that even if it's a split second, you take back exactly as if nothing happened and you continue. Very important. Don't stop. Don't freeze because you just missed a step. Just keep going. The show has
Keep going.
must go on. Exactly.
You know what? I will add that yes, I did cry the first time I tried these slippers. By the way, we wear clear heels, the same as I guess a different industry. and by the time like I was done, I was wearing my heels, cooking in the kitchen, okay, with my posing suit. So here you go. You can do it, girl. One last question before we wrap up.
Yes.
Do you have, like, I know that I do, and I have my alter ego name when like I'm on stage. I'm like Beyonce, Shasta Fierce. I'm Ladyfloflo. That's where that name comes. That's my alter ego person. Do you have an alter ego name or persona?
I'm a Black Panther.
Ooh.
I've been told so many times that my gait, because of my height, the way I walk in heels, I look like a feline. So.
Ooh, Black Panther. So here you go. So you're a Black Panther when you're wearing your heels. You know,
that's how I feel, actually. I feel like a feline. It doesn't matter, Black Panther, whatever, a cat, call it, name it. I feel like a feline. This is how I feel when I'm on stage because I know how I move on stage. I know my body. I'm very mindful. And because I've been practicing so much, after that, the only thing I have to worry about is to bring in my personality, which I have. I've been told a lot of time that I look very confident. You know, that's funny because when you're on stage, you're so nervous and it's normal because it's your show day. It's important. You know how much you've worked and it's that final countdown for you. But either way, every single time I told people how nervous I was on stage, they were always shocked, or they were like, really? It didn't show. It looked like you knew what you were doing and like you were just like posing and it seemed easy. I'm like, dude, if you know how many hours I've been holding these vacuums and practicing holding my front pose, my back pose for minutes, like, yes. And this is how it helps you and people don't even realize.
Love this. Perfect. Well, thank you. You said Black Panther. Oh. Black Panther, here you go. Black Panther and Ladyfloflo. Tip for posing. Let us know if you have some questions in the comments. Give us a like and share this video. See you next time, guys. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. See you next time. Bye, guys.
Thank you, Luchida.